Now, I'd like to introduce Dr. Paramita Sengupta ma'am, Professor and Head, Department of Community Medicine and Family Medicine, AIIMS Kalyani, and the organizing chairperson of this conference to kindly deliver the keynote address. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Karthikeyan. On this today, the 25th of November is a very important day for it being the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. It marks the start of 16 days of activism, concluding on the day that commemorates the International Human Rights Day, that is the 10th of December. And this campaign was led by the UN Secretary General and UN Women since 2008, which aims to prevent and eliminate violence against women and girls around the world, calling for global action to increase awareness, promote advocacy, and create opportunities for discussion on challenges and bring out solutions. So on this day, our team will be talking on intimate partner violence, a multi-stakeholder perspective. And just a second. Multi-stakeholder perspective. And there are important resource persons who will inform us about the preventive measures, how to navigate the law, seek help, etc. So I start this with a important, like a very profound quote. Like, you are not. This is for all women who are suffering, maybe. And so this is, you are not a victim for sharing your story. You are a survivor, setting the world on fire with your truth. And you never know who needs your light, your warmth, and raging courage. So with this, just a second. So we all know about the story of this Shraddha and Aftab, and how she was like for 2 years she has been fighting, and finally she died a very devastating death, and with her body being cut up into 35 pieces. So this is so bad. This is due not a human. I mean, this man must be something. So what have we done? What can we do? And recently, the UN Secretary General also has said that he has declared that every 11 minutes, a woman is killed by a partner or killed. So it is not just the dramatic incidents that define abuse. It is every day there is a slow burn, every look, every walk, every turn, every fear of a slap, every risk or threat of any sort of violence that is constantly, like somebody is, the victim is on tender eggshells, like she doesn't know what someone will say, what might be imagined, and what may lead to the act of violence. So this is so devastating. So this brief introduction, which our resource persons will be telling in a full form, like I just want to say that intimate partner violence, it includes physical, sexual, and emotional abuse and controlling behaviors by an intimate partner. And CDC has defined 4 types of partner violence, that is physical violence, sexual violence, stalking, and psychological aggression. And the term domestic violence is similar, but it also includes, other than partner violence, there is elder abuse or abuse by any member of the household.
Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry to disturb, ma'am. The slides are not moving, ma'am. So if you could allow, can I share the slides?
Yes, please.
Yes. Please disable your slide sharing, ma'am.
Okay. What do I do?
Ma'am, you need to close your slide. Stop sharing the screen, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
So IPV
yes,
may just a second. Am I visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So intimate partner violence is a significant public health issue. as not only there are personal consequences of intimate partner violence, and it is devastating, and it has many individual and societal costs. And it claims millions of victims worldwide, leading to infringement of fundamental human rights, serious physical and mental health consequences, and leading behind in its wake broken relationships and affected children. About 75% of female IPV survivors and 48% of male survivors experience some form of injury related to IPV, and it may also lead to death. Please change the slide, please. Amongst women, this is more tragic. It leads to a lot of negative and sexual and reproductive health consequences for women, including unintended and unwanted pregnancy, and abortion and unsafe abortion, sexually transmitted infections, including HIV, pregnancy complications, pelvic inflammatory disease, urinary tract infections, and sexual dysfunction. There are chances of online violence also when there is a sharing of offensive materials, and sometimes the intimate partner also shares the photographs or pornographic material of the partner, which is emotionally very decapacitating. Violence during pregnancy has been associated with miscarriage, late entry into prenatal care, premature labor, low birth weight baby, fetal injury, and even stillbirth. So amongst the adolescents, the youth who experience adolescents experience dating violence. Actually, nowadays there are many youth who also live in with another partner, and they have been experiencing dating violence also, and this youth suffer from symptoms of depression and anxiety, engage in unhealthy behaviors like tobacco, alcohol, sleep disorders, and unsafe sexual behavior. So they have poor self-esteem and suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. And finally, they cause self-harm and suicide. So norms and beliefs supporting IPV, that means a man is superior. Actually, these are the gender discrimination which leads to this. There is patriarchy and gender rights. So one person cannot be whole. So one person is dependent on the other. So one person is superior and the other person, or the subject, and the other person becomes the object. So the man has a right to assert power over a woman and is considered socially superior and masculine. So he has a right to physically discipline a woman for incorrect behavior. Physical violence is an acceptable way to resolve a conflict in a relationship. A woman should tolerate violence in order to keep her family together. And sexual intercourse is a man's right in marriage, and there are times when a woman deserves to be beaten, and girls are responsible for a man's sexual urges. So in children also, there are many, please change over the slide, please. In children also, there are a lot of damage to the children, and it leads to depression, poor school performance, and negative health outcomes. Studies have found an association between IPV and child abuse with the same household, and there is and what it leads to is the male perpetration and female experience of IPV later in life. There are some studies in low-income countries like Nicaragua and Bangladesh which have found that children whose mothers were abused are less likely to be immunized, have higher rates of diarrheal diseases, and are greater risk of dying before the age of 5. And so we have often, there is a famous playwright who is George Bernard Shaw, and who has quoted, very nice quote, "A happy family is an earlier heaven." So, but statistics, some statistics tell a deadly story, though it tells us how safe our home is. So not only women, but everyone is in a mess in a violent home. So Indian values teach us, don't go out, you are not safe there. But little do they realize that the perpetrators of intimate partner violence is lurking inside the home. Who is responsible? What is responsible? So so the statistics, what do they say? 1 in 3 women in India is likely to have been subjected to intimate partner violence, but only 1 in 10 of women formally reports the offense. And 1 in 10 men. So men are also sufferers. They suffer emotional violence, and they also suffer violence from other men also. And again, patriarchy, again it comes into the picture. Patriarchy, because of the male is the superior, so he cannot even express. He is always silent that there is some violence against him. So they are, I think they are bigger sufferers of intimate partner violence. 1 in 4 adolescents report verbal, emotional, physical, or sexual dating violence each year. So there is Kamla Bhasin. She's a female activist. She was a female activist. She's no more now. And she, according to her words, she has, it's very profound. She has made a poem. कौन कहता है जन्नत इसे, हमसे पूछो जो घर में फंसे, ना हिफाजत ना इज्जत मिली, करके कुर्बानी हम मर गए, दुश्मनों का जरूरत किससे, जुर्म अपनों ने हम पर किए. So this is so profound. So the NFHS National Family Health Survey in 2005-06, that is the NFHS 4, has stated the lifetime prevalence of spousal violence among women in India to be 37%. The NFHS 5 in 2019 states that it has come lower, like it is 27%. But then there is, in some states, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Assam, and Sikkim, gender violence has increased. Please. Next, please. So why don't women leave the violent partner? So as in Shraddha's case, she suffered for 2 years, and once she also went and complained, but later she withdrew her complaint. Why? Because she thought that her partner might change his habits, and he may not torture her. But what he used to do, he used to stab her with this burning end of the cigarette. So that much trauma he caused her. So there is fear of retaliation, lack of alternative means of economic support. So that is one very common reason why mostly this intimate partner violence happens in low-income group women also. Concern for the children, then lack of support from family and friends, stigma of fear of losing custody of children associated with divorce, and love and hope that partner will change. So, and sustainable development goal, one of the goal, that is goal number 5, which focuses on gender violence and gender equality and the elimination of all forms of violence against women and girls by 2030. So we find that the global action is there on eliminating this gender, violence against women and girls. India's national health policy did not recognize violence against women as a healthcare issue until 2017, but the policy now clearly mandates that all survivors of violence must receive free services, and recommends that gender sensitization training be carried in all health facilities, and that it be included in the medical curriculum as well. It is as per GOI 2017. And there are some certain solutions. Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led government made amendments to the Criminal Law Act in 2018 to prescribe rigorous punishment against sexual offenses. The Government of India also implemented a one-stop center across the nation in April 2015. UN Secretary General, as in a latest press note, he has written, Antonio Guterres called on governments to increase funding by 50% to women rights organizations by 2026. So these are some things which our other resource faculty will be dealing on. And as for the primary care provider, as for us, what we can do is we can start some, the surveillance or screening, and we can also do some research on what is actually happening, how many women are actually, or how many people are actually affected by this ghastly thing. So up to 77% of women are not screened for IPV. It is more so when women are from lower socioeconomic strata and have no social support. And only 10% of primary physicians routinely screen for IPV. So there are two types of screen which can be used. That is the HIT screen and the STAT screen. It says on a Likert scale, hurt, insult, threaten, and scream. And a score of 10 or more is considered diagnostic of abuse. And the STAT screen is slap, threaten and throw, and this is a highly sensitive tool to screen IPV. A score of more than equal to 1 is positive screening for of lifetime IPV. So these are some things which our other faculty will be talking on. So I don't much want to dwell on that. But finally, I want to share that in homes, there should be sharing and no gender discrimination. There should be sharing of work between boys and girls. And so everybody, they should know how love, care, and everything. Like, and actually there should be some property and all those things should be shared equally between the boy child and the girl child, so that they know what it is. So last line is that beti dil mein, beti will mein. So that I guess will add some solution to the intimate partner violence.